and it fails miserably. And it gives you all of these anxiety inducing things that you would never have had if you wouldn't have did that. I didn't know the mistakes I had in me and the capability of me screwing it up because I never risked real money before as a younger man. I jumped in way sooner than I should have. I literally did like 2-3 weeks of just back testing paper trades. That's it. And I did one walk forward, I think a week or maybe a week and a half at most, not even 2 weeks. And I convinced myself I was ready to put money into a live account. $2,600 on a Nations Bank, which doesn't exist anymore, Nations Bank credit card. Now tell me the sense in that. Zero. And it's no surprise. My first trade was impulsively in a market that I was never really interested in. Orange juice. It's too thin. It wasn't even seasonally, looking back at seasonally, it was not even in a position where it to do anything. And I traded in a vehicle I had no experience in, options. But I had to do it. I got the account open. It's been 2 days. I better take a trade. And overnight, 50% of that account gone. Not the account, but the options premium. I paid $1,500 for orange juice option, which is extremely expensive. So I bought an overvalued option. I didn't know it. And overnight, lost $750 of that option premium. And then closed the account that day. Wonderful lesson. Perfect illustration of what not to do. I wish we had demos back then. We had to do everything on paper, write it down in a notebook. That's how we did it. Make our own charts. We had to draw the high, the low, the open, the close tick on every single chart. If we traded it or monitored it, that's how we did it. You have no idea the advantages that you have today, but you won't use them. You're trying to rush through still. Don't learn how to trade with a demo account. Learn the broker with the demo and then go in with real money, even if it's a little bit of money. That's someone that is absolutely not making money consistently and they don't know how to trade, and you should not be listening to them. And I don't care who they are, how many people follow them, and how much they're liked right now. I don't care. And you can hate me. I don't care. That's real. Because that's someone that doesn't even know what they're talking about. You have so many things going on in your mind that you're going to bring to this that are going to derail you. And you have to know what they are. And you cannot discover that without pain and loss or building in fear, anxiety inducing concerns for your equity. With live money, you do that, you're going to be scared money. In the beginning, my second account that I opened up, I was terrified. Yeah. I worked 2 jobs, pizza delivery, everything I could. Picked up cans, turned them in and redeemed them for money. I did all that stuff, folks. I did all of that. Walked down streets, picking up soda cans, beer cans, all that stuff. I did that just to get whatever I could scraped up. So don't talk to me about, you don't know what it's like, ICT. You don't know what it's like. You don't know what I did. You don't know what I went through. But that second account, I was terrified. Terrified. I was afraid of every possible entry. And you're wondering, why the hell does ICT have all these concepts? Because I had to cope with it. I wanted to have an arsenal. My weakness was fear of knowing when to get in. Bro, let me tell you something. I got 81 ways to get into a trade. 81. And that's why these jokers on the internet will say, oh, he's got something to always explain why the market. You're damn right I do. I know it like the back of my hand. But I also know when it's likely to slap me around, I'm not playing. No, thank you. I've been there before. You haven't. You're too new. You don't even know what it looks like. But I'm sharing that experience with you. I'm allowing you to find yourself in a closed circuit environment where you are not incurring monetary risk. That's why I teach with a demo. That's why it's the best way to learn. That's where you need to learn in a laboratory experiment setting where you cannot lose money and build anxiety inducing mindsets that's going to be a prevention to you finding success. How much plainer do I have to make it, folks? Stop listening to these kids pretending to be money millionaire mentors, okay? They literally just graduated school. They probably dropped out of college. They have no idea what they're talking about. The only money they got in their accounts is from whatever they sold. Whatever their affiliate programs are. They're multi-level marketing garbage. They're not trading. They cannot trade. They will not show you what the market's going to do. They cannot do it. So why the hell are you listening to their advice? Because you see them pretending with their pomp, their rented cars. I own my cars. I own my home. There's no note on my cars. There's no note on my homes. And I show you where it's going to go. I execute on it and I use the logic. And I'm telling you when it's not right for me. By example, I stopped. I walked away. Now think. Who do you want to learn from? Somebody that can walk the walk and talk the talk and press stop and know why and have no concerns for, oh, I might miss something. I don't have any fear of missing out. You never hear me say, whoa, why did that happen? Why did that slap in the ES just happen? No, I'm not surprised by that. But I can go into a week where I'm expecting certain things to happen and they don't manifest. Okay, I'm not surprised by that. I'm just not interested. See the difference there? That's experience. That's 30 years, baby, of doing the same stuff all the time, expecting the expected results at the end of it. But if it's going to show me signatures that are not supporting what I'm teaching you, that's not an invitation for you to find a new way of doing it. All these new guys and gals out there trying to reinvent the wheel. I've already gave you the wheel. You have to build the car on top of it. And some of you don't want a Lamborghini. Some of you are just okay with a pickup truck, a Volkswagen, a Jeep, or even, well, I won't go there. What's he going to say? What was he going to say? I said, please tell me what you're going to say. No, I'm not going to do that. But there's a learning curve to this that nobody really expects to exist until they step into it. And they don't like it. It's a reminder to them that everything worth doing requires a lot more effort than you thought it was going to take. There's no shortcuts to this, folks. I am the shortcut. I promise you, even though it seems like it's long-winded all the time, this is the shortcut. You cannot make it simpler than this. You're waiting for the market to go up to run stops or reprice to an inefficiency. It's going to drop to run stops or reprice to an inefficiency, or it's going to go sideways. And guess what? When the market's going to go sideways, ICT is doing something else. Now, imagine for a second. Imagine that you paid me money for the month of April. I would have to do something, right? I would have to perform. I would have to sit down and give you my opinion. Guess what? That doesn't have to happen anymore. I don't do that anymore. That's why I'm never charging ever for education. When I'm done in November, I'm done. I'm done. I have so much enjoyed the last 2 weeks of just simply saying, nah, that's my life. That's what I want to get back to. I didn't ask you for or for your permission to do what I did. I don't need to ask for it. But I did what I had to do from a psychological point of view, where I'm reminding myself that I'm in control of me. And since 2016, I have not felt in control of my own life. I've allowed people all around the world to conduct my life for me. Tell me when I had to be somewhere, what I had to do, answer emails. I can't even keep up with the emails. It's too many of you. And it just feels so good for me as a man to be able to unplug. I needed it. Like, I needed it. And it was so good to be out there with my kids and just having conversations with them. And I broke down. We were in a restaurant. And one of my sons said to me, he goes, "Dad, I've never seen this with you before." And I said, "What?" He goes, "Like, you're sitting down, you're talking to us, and you're not even talking about the market. You're not talking about your students. It's just like you're talking to us." And I lost it. So as much as I love doing this with you all, I love doing that with them more. And I'd be honest by saying that I sometimes feel guilty about that. And I shouldn't. They're my kids. But I have built this life all around trading since I was 20 years old. And I was not the best father. I was not the best husband. I've never done anything outside my relationship. And I've always provided for my kids, but I was not there. In the house with them, but I was not there. So it's not always about money that you need to learn lessons about, because you can be wildly successful, be a pillar in the community of the industry that you're in, and be an utter failure as a father, a husband, a wife. And no amount of money, none of that can wipe it away. You have no idea how hard this industry is, because you don't know how hard you're going to make it on yourself. That's the variable. And nobody ever writes that in their books. I bought every one of them. They're never going to place that clarity on it, because they have something else to sell later on. And the reality is, if you are told this in the beginning, and you're not going to be willing to make the sacrifices, is really what it is. You have to sacrifice your wants, because you call them needs. Now, I need to do this, ICT. You don't understand. No, I understand. But you need to understand, just simply because you want it and you call it needing it, that's already a problem. Because when you say the word need is going to be, I need to take a trade. I need to get that drawdown back right now. I need to go and reset my account. I need to do this. I need to do. You don't need to do anything except for learn. You need to listen to me. I'm not giving you bad advice. I'm not trying to prolong your success. I'm not trying to steer you away from something else that might be better, because if you can find it, go do it. If you find something better than I got, tell me about it. I'll look at it and I'll stop what I'm doing and do that. I swear to God, that's what I'll do. But I've already been down that road before, folks. I've already been down that road dozens of times before I left my 20s. And I'll be 51 in August. This dog is set in his ways, and I'm changing this industry. And you're all part of it. You're on the ride with me. We're blazing a trail together. And that's freaking awesome. That's awesome. We're laying down a legacy where people are literally doing things in a controlled manner learning how to do this in a safe setting, and then you're watching students walk out there in the real world and put it to task. And they're changing their lives with it, independent of whatever I think is going to be in the marketplace. That's awesome. Your success story is waiting, but you can't hurry it up. You can't usher it any faster than it's going to be. And the speed at which you receive it or get to it is unique to you. And be comfortable with that. The harder you push to make it sooner, you're just pushing it further down the line. I swear it's the way it is. You just got to enjoy the process, go through it. And one day you'll know you're ready. You won't feel impulsive about anything. You're comfortable. You'll be able to navigate. You'll know this is a market in a condition right now. You don't want to touch it. And you don't care who else is making money. Who cares? Well done. Good job that you made money. Doesn't mean I have to do anything. It doesn't mean I'm less of a trader. What? That's not what you see on social media, is it? I don't want you to think that way. I don't promote that idea. Your results are yours. I can't sleep in your bed and wrestle with falling asleep because the drawdown you've taken on. And I can't relish in the successes of the profits that you made in your trades because I didn't incur the risk. So why are you trying to do that with other people's results? You're minding their business. They're minding theirs. You mind yours. Some of you won't ever be in business because you're doing stupid stuff like that. You're trying to keep up with the Joneses. You're rushing too soon. And then when you find yourself in a situation that you know in your heart that you're rushing, you shouldn't be there risking real money or trying to get a funded account passed. You don't know what you're doing yet. Why even bother with that until you know exactly what you're doing? How you're going to mess yourself up. You have to learn who you are. The last time we talked, I was in Florida, and I said to you that Alexander Elder's book, Trading for a Living, the first portion of that book, in my opinion, that's the gem. And he talks about alcoholism and the effects of it and the way it affects people, families, relationships, all that business. I've never been drunk in my life, but I've watched everybody in my family be under the influence of either drugs or alcohol. And you'd be surprised to see how some of them were totally different people when they were drunk. Absolutely, like you would never recognize that's the same person. Totally nasty drunks, but crazy violent drunk. And they would say, "Oh, it's the whiskey talking." No, that's not. That's not whiskey talking. Whiskey just numbed them enough to let them have no inhibitions. Without inhibitions, the real person manifests themselves. And that's what happens when you get with trading with live money. You're drunk. You're driving drunk right now with a live account with no experience. You're under the influence of what? Trying to make money. And nobody's there that can take the keys from you. So you have to know these things before you do it. Because you don't want to find out that you are a nasty, violent drunk that crashes when you get with live money. That's why you have to do this in demo. You're going to find your character flaws that causes those same individuals to go to alcohol to self-medicate. They know what's going on, but they won't share it with anybody to help get themselves through it. Failed relationship, midlife crisis, anxiety, generalized anxiety, I'm sure is a major contributing factor.